Deadliest attack that took place last week in Paris was at the Bataclan Theater, which was hosting a heavy metal concert. It is not surprising that the location would be targeted as one of the aims of terrorism is to strike at our culture, the very heart of our way of life. I-24 News correspondent Shani Nachshony has more.
When IS terrorists shot the audience at the Eagles of Death metal concert in the Bataclan Hall in Paris, they shot every music lover in the world. Musicians, actors and comedians couldn't stay indifferent to the slaughter that occurred in the City of Light, a city that inspired so many of them. Madonna, who performed Saturday in Stockholm, was tearful when addressing her audience and asked them to hold a moment of silence.
Why should I allow them to stop me and to stop us from enjoying freedom?
The rock band Foo Fighters didn't miss a show when Dave Grohl broke his leg, but couldn't go through with their European tour after the Paris attack.
In light of the senseless violence, the closing of borders, and international mourning, we can't continue right now.
Foo Fighters were not the only group to cancel a concert. U2 found itself yet again in the role of responding to violence. The American late-night sketch comedy Saturday Night Live, which usually starts with a funny monologue and the famous shout live from New York, had a silent opening.
Paris is the city of light. And here in New York City, we know that light will never go out.
And HBO's John Oliver left no one doubting his views.
If you're in a war of culture and lifestyle with France, good luck.
After the world of music was hurt, it was music which also came to heal. In front of the Bataclan, a musician sat down to play Imagine by John Lennon, to make us all imagine there's no countries, nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too.
Yes, and with me here in the studio is Ayman Sikseck, I-24 News correspondent. Good evening. Also Shani Nachshony, I-24 News correspondent. Good evening and welcome to I-24 News. And Bassam Beroumi, Arabic rock artist. Beroumi.
Yes.
I'm sorry, our Arabic rock artist, because I was wrong with your name. I will start with you. How important and how can culture fight terror? Because some people will say it's not connected. Some people sometimes, or some artists, are afraid to express their feelings or to express political views because they're afraid to be targeted. How important it is that artists that influence won't stay silent?
I think, in my opinion, artists are like kind of prophets, kind of people that can, lead other people. So it's extremely important that the artists say their opinion. And unfortunately, I see that a lot of artists and a lot of, people from the music industry, and they are not participating in, in trying to connect people and trying to, I won't say make peace, but, at least contribute to some activities that can connect with the people, and it's a pity, I think.
Shani, I will ask you. We spent a lot of time, and we spent a lot of time during Operation Protective Edge, and during other terrorist attack, and this wave of violence here in Israel. And when artists actually said what they feel and they expressed it, they found themselves being attacked all over, slammed all over from everyone. And some of them just said, you know what, I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to say anything anymore. And this is problematic in a democratic society.
Yes, there's a double standard regarding whatever artists are thinking. They are required to say their political views, and then they are getting beaten up in the media for whatever they are saying. There is an expectation from artists to be mainstream, to say whatever the public wants them to say and not what they are thinking. And as he said, it's a problem in democracy because people are supposed to have their own opinions. And you see artists like Waters, sorry.
Which one?
Roger Waters, sorry.
Roger Waters, yeah.
Expressing his opinion all the time regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and he's trying to use his art to change something, but whether people like it or not, it's their issue. It's
Just
their
like what Madonna did in the report that
But the difference that his popularity is like his weapon, so he's
exactly.
he's extremely strong.
And Roger Waters known all over the world, and he has the biggest stage that he can express his views, and he can actually make a change or affect the minds of a lot of youngsters who are listening to his music. I mean, we're seeing this all the time, and you know, I'm asking myself, as an author and as a writer, do you sometimes feel scared to say what you actually think?
Well, I think situations like this always force artists in general to ask themselves, once again, what kind of artists are they? What kind of art do they want to make? Is it the kind of art that will win them the public's affection at any cost? Or do they want to stress and highlight their own personal beliefs as well and pay the price for that? And I think what we also have to look at is not just how art influences politics, but how much power politics has over art. And just last year, Suha Arraf, the director who received funding from an Israeli fund to make her film and presented the movie abroad as a Palestinian film, came under a lot of fire. And it raised really a big question of what defines the identity of a work of art. Is it the money that made the art possible? Or is it the content? Is it the nature of the content? Because if you watch the film, it is a Palestinian film, but the money came from an Israeli fund. And this caused the debate in Israel, should artists now commit to saying that they represent Israel if they receive the money? So politics has a lot of power within art.
And then, you know, people are raising the question, you know, why, if you are against someone, you will take his money? It's like if you are against a state, if you are against a policy, why you're using its money to be against it and not actually be against it and say, I'm not taking your money because I don't believe in what you're doing and I'm going to do my art with no help coming from me?
I think it's a thing of a point of view, because sometimes I don't know what was the point of view of this case, but I believe that I earned this money. I'm a citizen of this country. I pay my bills. I pay my taxes. So it's actually my money, and it's my decision to get out this work and to say if it's a Palestinian work or Israeli work. It's my decision, and it's also my money.
Did you find yourself sometimes in these conflicts between your political views, between your identity and the way and your citizenship, the way that you see yourself as a citizen of Israel?
Every time. I think me and my band, we had this conflict all the time, because we went live, in Ramallah, in Bethlehem, and also in Tel Aviv, Jaffa, and also abroad, and all the time we have this identity conflict, and we always tried, to walk between the raindrops, not to make, and it always someone was angry at us. So me personally, I think in the last 2-3 years, I took a stand to do what I think is right for me, regardless what people think about it, and I think it's me trying to be honest to my music and to my art.
Lucy, I think that sometimes artists, they think that using the money of the country, they can influence its action. And if we take, for example, the hippie movement in the 70s, they tried to do something about the war going on in Vietnam. And I think it did. It changed the public opinion, and it came eventually to end, to stop the war. So I think sometimes artists do what they do, and they take the money from the country they are sometimes against, because they think they're doing something for the country.
Yes, you want.
Well, I was just going to say that I completely identify with this point of walking between the raindrops, but the challenge is that the raindrops, especially here in Israel, keep changing all the time. You don't know where you're walking. When you think you're safe, it changes again. And in Israel specifically, you know, just a few months ago, we talked about Al Midan Theater, the Arab theater in Haifa, which was under threat of not receiving funding anymore because of a particular play that had the Palestinian cause and issue as a star within this play. And again, censorship plays a big part when you do put yourself out there as an artist and you're risking being shut down.
You know, but I want to ask you actually about this, because we know that the culture minister, Miri Regev, she is well known with her views, and we won't open the views right now here, but whomever wants to see what she said, if it's immigrants being cancer and the funding and terror and a lot of beautiful things, but she said what she said. And she went against Al Midan. And she also went against Norman Isa, who's a well-known actor here at Almina Theater, which is a theater for kids that is working on coexistence between Jewish people and Arab people, especially kids. And at the end, she spoke. And at the end, both of these theaters are receiving money from her office. So I wonder if maybe us or you or artists are playing also the game or being dragged to a game that we should not be dragged to. If she said that she's against, okay, let her say that. You are a taxpayer. You are paying this money. This is your salary, basically. So why we are dragging and giving her the stage instead of taking the stage and giving it to ourselves?
Well, actually, I'm one of the crew of Elmina Theater. I'm an actor also, and I work with Norman. I think it was, you know, if you look at all what happened there, I think it was like a PR or Miri Regev, I think, believes in if you make a lot of noise, you are in the headlines all the time, and then you can gain yourself another period of time in the Knesset. And I agree with you. It was like, a lot of fuss, a lot of noise, and then, okay, everything is okay.